Hey, thanks for tuning in to Unmaking a Mess with Darlene Morgan, where there have been many messes that I've been in and I have also have created. And thanks to the grace of God, I'm actually still here. So with that in mind, I do believe and will always will believe that God has a purpose for me. I use a lot of my life stories as a way to hopefully help others, be transparent, and relate with others. A lot of what I talk about is kind of more based on a single mom perspective, but I do wish and hope that I'm actually helping others from a wider audience. Yeah, so once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember to share and subscribe. And you can find me on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and now my online blog, Unmaking a Mess, all titled the same. I'm doing a lot more YouTube videos because I've gotten to the point where I actually just pull out my phone and record without any script actually written first like I used to do. And I find that has been more genuine and authentic for me. And it's actually a way for me to reach you guys when I am at my most vulnerable time and when things are not always going great. And so for me, that means that I guess I can actually just be super true and honest with you. You know, when I first created my Facebook page years upon years ago, I told myself that I was going to be honest and real. I wasn't just going to post stuff that was all just happy and family oriented and stuff like that. And that's pretty much what I have, that I've done, you know, for the last several years, and I continue to do. So that's a little bit about me. So yeah, actually right now I just decided to open up my phone and record something for you guys because I have just continued to struggle quite a bit. I feel like I have been honest with you in the last few episodes, just kind of letting you know that things just don't always go as smoothly as I hope. On the other hand, you know, sometimes it just makes me feel incredibly guilty for thinking that the problems I have are so bad that I have to get on here and talk about them. Especially when I work in a field where, I mean, there's people and families out there that suffer so much more and have greater problems than me. I don't know, it just kind of creates a little bit of shame and guilt. On the other hand, you know, why else would I have this podcast? Because I feel like we all go through something. I think it's true that God doesn't give us more than we can handle. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I feel like that's a lot of just random talk because I think about these families and I help and think about how wonderful and dear some of these moms are and how they don't deserve some of the things that they're going through, and how much stronger they are than me, than a lot of us. But enough of that, as true as it may be. Yeah, I mean, I can't stop and compare my problems to others. This is my life, and this is where God has me at this time. And to just be super true and honest with you, I have absolutely been struggling lately. I haven't been struggling to the point where, you know, it's not like I don't want to be here on this earth. I feel pretty confident I would never get to that point. But I am struggling enough that my mind is absolutely driving me up the wall. I feel like I'm thinking way too much about everything, and I have diverted back to some of my old ways of trying to control everything myself, whereas it took me years upon years to release and let go and know that God is the one that is in charge of my life, and I need to just follow his lead. I'm struggling with confidence, with self-esteem, with being a good mom, with being a good employer, with being a good shop owner, with taking care of my house. I mean, I just have not had the confidence lately. I am literally just kind of like floating, and I guess kind of going through the motions every single day. I had my doctor, I contacted my doctor a week ago or so and told her that, you know, I wake up and I'm starting to have those anxious feelings again. I get off work and I have my heart beating and I'm having trouble breathing. And of course, it's just all related back to anxiety. And of course, that bothers me because I felt like I was really getting away from it and feeling really good about who I am and where I'm at, and even feeling just as good about being a single parent. I'm still feeling good about those things. It's harder than usual lately. It's like I have to force myself to feel good about them. It's not coming as natural as I want it to. And I'm going to tell you two things that are really getting to me and bringing me to this place of uncertainty. One is my daughters are getting older and they're having their own life, which I could not be happier for. Of course, I want that for them. I want nothing but the best for them. And that's not me just saying those things to hear me say them or have them hear me say it. No, I mean, we have come so far, and the saying is absolutely true. You know, we didn't come this far to only come this far. You know, I want my daughters to really embrace life. I want them to do things that I never was able to do. I want them to be stronger than I ever could have been at their age, and I want them to enjoy life. And so I love that they, like my two older ones, are spending more time together because my middle daughter has a boyfriend now at the same college that her sister goes to. And so they all hang out together. You know, the two guys that are both soccer players and then the two sisters. I mean, what better? How much more could a mom ask for than to have, you know, her two daughters bonding and doing stuff together? A side note that was, of course, a concern for me because, you know, my middle daughter goes there on Halloween or you know, a couple days after, and they go to a party, college party, a frat party. And of course, I pray with them and I tell them the things that I don't want them to do and what to watch out for. And yeah, I mean, my daughter came back and she was very honest with me about having a drink. And I did not get upset or anything. I thanked her for being just very honest. And I waited like a good 24 hours before approaching her again, which, okay, I have to see that as improvement in who I am now, because it worried me that maybe I'm not doing enough to protect her or give her direction. And waiting the 24 hours was really smart because I wanted to catch her at a time when, you know, it was just her and I. And I did, and I just told her, you know, she comes from a family background where alcoholism is apparent and she has to be super careful about that. And I asked her what it felt like when she drank, and she said, well, it just really relaxed me, and I felt like I could be more sociable and talk to others. And I said, I said, that's exactly how your dad got started. Because, I mean, he was very honest about it. He said the same thing, that it made him more comfortable around people to talk to others. And so it was just a reality check and an opportunity for me to just say, hey, you got to be careful. I mean, it's not something you want to fall back on and lean on just because you can't talk to other people. You've got to find your own way to communicate without having to drink something or do something. And so we talked about that. We talked about sex. We talked about protection, about diseases. I mean, we talked about watching her cup or her bottle or whatever it was she might have at a party and making sure that she always kept an eye on it, and just going back and forth, from her car and others places. So, I mean, I have to look at that as a win. That was good because she and I could talk very openly and honestly. But where I was going with this, before I kind of deviated there for a moment and talked about something else, is, as my girls get older, they're spending, their time doing their thing. And my youngest daughter is doing the same thing. I mean, she was gone from, late Saturday afternoon until Sunday night, which left me home alone. I woke up, went to church on my own, which was kind of a push for me. I almost felt like I couldn't do it, which is ridiculous. It's a church I've been to for many years, and I finally just said, God, I'm going. I'm getting my coffee. I packed me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and off I went to church and just did my best to embrace it. Afterwards, going to a store to pick out some Christmas lights, and then I went to a friend's house, and then I went to Walmart. And with each place I stopped, other than my friends, which was really nice to sit and visit with her and her family, and actually our other friend showed up. Each place I stopped, it was like I noticed just being on my own and telling myself, you can do this. You can handle being alone. Remember how you went on that walk a month or more ago and how you were embracing like this time alone without your girls, and how it's important for you to do this. And I thought about that time and I'm like, where is that person? Because all of a sudden I just have all these doubts of my purpose and how I can continue to be a need for my daughters. It's like you get to this age, your daughters and sons get to this age, and all of a sudden, they don't need you as much. I mean, they still need you, but not like they used to when they were younger, because they're self-sufficient. And you want them to be self-sufficient. I mean, that's the point of raising your kids, to teach them to know right from wrong, to be independent. And once again, I should be looking at those things instead of drawing this attention on myself of poor, pitiful me. I don't like that. I have not been that way. I mean, sometimes I wish I could go back to that person that I was, where I was just kind of high and mighty and I could conquer anything and not care about what other people thought. And I'm just not that person anymore. I look back at those days and remember how exhausting it was to keep up that persona and that image. And I think about who God wants me to be, and He wants me to have a tender heart and be soft-spoken, no more of that harshness. And so I want to be this person that I am now. I just don't want to have the anxiety anymore, the lack of confidence, the concerns of growing older and not being there for my girls or for them not needing me. 15 minutes. Real quick, I want to give you an example. My daughter needed to borrow my camera and for a soccer game in Kansas City. And when she said that, I jumped at it because the soccer game was at a little town. And gosh, I hope I didn't really tell this story. I really hope I didn't. I'm sorry if I did, but it's valuable. And I jumped at the opportunity, and she said, "Oh, don't worry about it. You don't need to." And I had to explain to her, no, I want to, because even though it's an hour drive for me, that's nothing. And she knows that. I said, it's an opportunity for me to just go, drop off the camera to you, walk up the street to this adorable little town where I spent time shopping and hanging out at a coffee shop. And those are the things I want to do now. And I just pray that God allows me to do those things. You know, I'm not the kind of person that's going to go extravagant and do these like spas or anything like that. Sometimes I just think that I need to redefine myself. Man, I just feel like I'm going, man, is that not like a midlife crisis talk, which I'm far from midlife, but is it not? And so I have that opportunity again this weekend where she's doing a presentation for my new 10 minutes at this conference. It's a psychology conference, and she's asked me to go. And of course, I'm like, yeah, I'll go. I'll go the night before, stay the night, and wake up and go listen to you for 10 minutes and then listen to the rest of the conference. And once again, she's like, Mom, I don't want you to spend the money. Don't do it. You don't need to do this. And once again, I'm like, no, this is what I mean. This is purpose for me. It's like finding my purpose, not to mention the fact that they've got great speakers. And this was actually in a small town that my niece recommended to me. My niece goes all over Kansas with her boyfriend, and they do like these wonderful photos of Kansas. And she recommended this small town to me. Because I told her I wanted to start just getting away for a night, and it's only 2 hours away. So it's now to the point of convincing my daughters that, hey, you know, I want to start doing these things, and please let me do it because I find value in it, and it continues to give me a little bit of purpose in your life. And I think they get it. So anyway, that's what I've been going through. Just struggling with anxiety, with confidence, with self-esteem. One other stupid thing is I cannot get a date to save my life. I have been on 1, 2, 3 different dates in the last few weeks, and that's the part that I'm trying to control. And so I woke up this morning and I said, God, don't let me do it again. And these are literally just dates. They're like, meet you for coffee or one drink or an appetizer. And it's not like they're horrible. It's just not working. Something inevitably seems to go wrong. One person and I just totally disagreed on politics. The other person disagreed that I still stay in touch with my ex-husband, and I have these 2 men that are my friends. The other one, I don't know. And another one is not ready to settle down, which I actually am. I'm okay with that. And nothing actually transpired from that. So nothing wrong there. I think the whole point I was getting at is I'm trying to control that area of my life, which is a huge no-no. On the other hand, it has attacked my self-esteem as well, physical-wise, because, you know, the younger part of me used to be able to go out and meet men, no problem. But I guess those weren't like real great relationships. Anyway, that's all I got for you. This is me. And if you can relate, I would love to hear your stories and what you're going through in your 50s and how difficult it's been for you, or how it's not difficult and how you embrace it. Please share it with me, the empty nest stuff, and how you approach it and love it, because that would mean a lot to me. All right, I'm out of here. I've got to take a shower and go downstairs, spend some time with my daughter. I'm on 20 minutes here, and thanks so much for listening. Prayers to you all. Remember to ask God to come into your heart and to your soul, to your mind, because with him, it actually does make things go much better. I can definitely attest to that. I'm thankful that he is by my side and he's someone that I can go to. It doesn't mean that all these problems are going to be swept under the rug or go away, but with him, he does make it so much easier on you to go through these things. So yeah, share, subscribe, let me know what you think, and I shall be back very soon. All right, take care, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.